Okay. So I did check the weather, and we do have a snowstorm in Bridgefield, which does grant a 10% chance of Kufant appearing. We also have a sandstorm here in Hammerlock Hills. This does us absolutely no good whatsoever. Being as there is no chance of Honedge appearing in a sandstorm. I don't understand why the steel ghost type will not appear in a sandstorm. Being as it would make sense that the steel type, which is immune to damage from a sandstorm, would appear in a sandstorm. However, that's not the case. For Honedge, we would need a snowstorm, not a sandstorm. Or fog, which would be great if we could get either one of those. Unfortunately, we didn't get either one of them today. What I'm planning on doing is going and getting Kufant. And then I am going to probably take the time to go do raid battles for quite a bit, trying to get one to spawn in a location that can give me Honedge. As such, we're going to go ahead and fly straight down here, because if I try to go anywhere else in Hammerlock, it's going to trigger story stuff that I don't want to do right now. So, right now, we're going to head over to Bridgefield and see about getting our Kufant. We may also swing over and see if we can find a Duraludin, but that's unlikely. Alright. Barbroach. Alright, cool. There's a Kufant right there. That's the great thing about so many Pokemon spawning right here is the 10% chance becomes actually decently high. Okay, 27. Not bad. We're going to Sucker Punch it. Simply because anything else I think would kill it. Because everything else Stunfisk knows is super effective. Now, unfortunately, with the hail hitting Kufant, if we Sucker Punch again, we'd most likely kill it, especially with hail. So what we're going to do is we're going to start throwing balls at it. I'm going to start out by throwing a random nest ball just because I can. I don't think it'll work, but I could be wrong. Apparently, I'm wrong. So, there you go. We now have Kufant. We've got our 4th Pokemon. We need to train it, but we've got our Kufant. So, the other 2 Pokemon I want are Duraludin and Honedge. But we've got Kufant, so we're good. Also, we're getting attacked by a Sneasel. Which, honestly, I'm just gonna have Stunfisk revenge. Revenge! And it's dead. Okay. Not really a big deal. Now, let's get out of here. Alright, now... I could train Kufant the hard way, but I'm gonna do it the easy way. And literally just do this. All experience candy to Kufant. Okay, Kufant wants to learn the move Dig. It really doesn't need to know Dig, and I'm not a giant fan of two-turn moves in the first place. So, the fact that it knows decent moves already is fine, so I'm not really going to teach it Dig, because it doesn't really need it. And I've already got Stunfisk for ground moves. Okay, now here I'm going to use 24 of them rather than all of them, because I don't think I need that much to get it where I want it. Alright, now I'll use all of them, because I forgot those were hundreds. So... and that actually gets it to 34, which is where I wanted it. Which allows us to evolve it into Caparaja. So, we now have Caparaja. So, we're now good on that front. This is a move we do want Caparaja to learn. Because this is based entirely on weight of the Pokemon versus weight of the target. Now, I'm going to get rid of Rock Smash, because honestly, I don't really care about Rock Smash. Now, the reason that Heavy Slam is so good for Caparaja is its power is based on weight, as I said. Oh, actually I was gonna show its ability there. It knows sheer force for its ability, so anything like, say, Iron Head, I can show you with this. Iron Head on Caparaja would not ever flinch, because it removes that to make the move stronger. Another good example is Bulldoze. Bulldoze from Caparaja will do more damage than Bulldoze from Stunfisk, because it won't lower the speed of the people it hits due to the sheer force ability, which makes him very powerful but useless at affecting stats and things. Now, the reason Heavy Slam being so useful, if I can get down to where Caparaja and Kufant are. And yes, I know, they're way down there. Oop, past them. There they are. Caparaja weighs more than almost every other Pokemon in this game. With very few exceptions. Snorlax, I believe Duraludin, and possibly like 2 other non-legendaries actually weigh more than Caparaja. Most of them weigh several 100 pounds less. Making Heavy Slam extremely powerful. Also, due to me wanting to use Caparaja as my raid Pokemon, I'm going to Dynamax it up to level 10. That way it has max level for Dynamaxing and will be useful. I'm not going to invite others for any of my raid battles simply because I'm not turning on my internet communications. Now, unfortunately, this is just going to be a Dynamax Caparaja. It's not Gigantamaxed. If I go to Isle of Armor and get that stuff and get the max mushrooms, I could technically make it Gigantamax. Well, that Solrock's screwed. As always, I will try to catch the raid Pokemon. However, I don't actually care about using any of them. If they break out, they break out. Doesn't matter to me. I will simply catch them for the sole purpose of using them as trade bait or just because I can. Excellent. It actually gave us some ground moves, which are fantastic. And actually very useful. So the very first thing I'm going to do now is actually go over to my TRs and take horsepower and put it on Caparaja. Because, well, Bulldoze is good. the problem is it also hits my ally Pokemon in double battles. And high horsepower, while having 5 less accuracy, has 35 more base power. So, now that that's done, our goal is to go hit up the raid battles to see if we can find a Honedge. Also, I need to go to Mystery Gift and get the wild area news, because I know there is new wild area news. Because it was updated yesterday. Actually, it might have been updated this morning even. There we go. Okay. Hey, look, it's a Rhyhorn. And if anyone has any desire to see me do a specific type as the next monotype challenge after we finish Steel, go ahead and send me a message, with, the type you want to see, and if you have any specific Pokemon within a type you want to see, go ahead and message me and, let me know that you think it might be interesting to see me do a, say, I don't know, let's go with an ice type mono challenge using Frostlass. Well, I can't necessarily guarantee that I will use the Pokemon you want in the monotype for that type. I may be inclined to do so if you can give a good reason why you think it would be an interesting Pokemon to use in a monotype challenge. Hey, look, we went from Rhyhorn to Rhydon. This is also the first 3-star raid we've seen. Now, this is actually a great example of what I was talking about when I was going over the reason for Heavy Slam being so useful on Kaparaja. To put it in proper perspective, Kaparaja weighs just over 1,400 pounds. On the other hand, Rhydon, the giant rock creature that you would think would be really heavy, barely weighs 260. I mean, Kaparaja versus Rhydon weighs a total of almost 6 times as much. Some of the other Pokemon you might consider being heavy that are in the game, like, say, out of, just vain reasoning for it, Kangaskhan. Can get it on Isle of Armor. They're big, they're bulky, they weigh 176 pounds. The Galar Pokemon. Corviknight, 165 pounds. The big, giant, I am a huge pile of rocks, Stonejourner, is close to Kaparaja, being 1,100 pounds. The problem is Heavy Slam will not work here because with it being Gigantamaxed, it definitely super outweighs me. And because I did mention it earlier, and I'm sure people are wondering the comparison, Snorlax. Snorlax was the heaviest Gen 1 Pokemon. And honestly, the heaviest Pokemon until I believe Gen 4. I know it was still heaviest in Gen 2. Gen 3 might have added one that was heavier. I mean, obviously the legendaries. But, I mean, obviously I think Groudon's heavier than Snorlax. But discounting legendaries, I believe Snorlax was heaviest until Gen 3 or 4. Snorlax only weighs about 1,100 pounds. Kaparaja's actually got about 300 pounds on Snorlax. This is why I wanted Kaparaja to know Heavy Slam. Because it will have decent power versus pretty much everything. Even versus types that it's not very effective against, it'll probably do decent damage. Simply because it will have so much power due to the sheer weight difference that Kaparaja will just be a beast. Also, I need a nickname for Kaparasha, as I have a good idea of what I want to nickname it, but we'll have to go to town to do that. Also, Sandstorm. I hate trying to find the beams in sandstorms. It's very difficult. Steelix. Now, doing all these raid battles is of course going to give me a bunch of experience candy, which I could then use to basically just make my Pokemon overpowered as hell. We're not going to be doing that. Obviously, I'll be using the experience candies like I did when I got Kufant to get it up to roughly the same level as my other Pokemon. I mean, obviously my Kufant's still about 5 levels lower than the rest of my other Pokemon, or my Kaparasha now. And obviously I'll boost it up to match the others. But, I won't be, like, taking the experience candy and suddenly jumping them all up to level, like, 65. That'd be stupid and would defeat the purpose of the game. Bye, Snorlax. I'm not actually sure without opening this up to other people online if I'm strong enough to actually beat this Steelix. Although, to be fair, the computer gave me pretty terrible allies as well. I mean, the Delmise is basically useless. The Snorlax is fairly useless. Throw is okay in that it's a fighting type and can be super effective. But that's about it. But I fully expect to probably end up losing this to 4 KOs. Which, well, unfortunate is a thing that happens. I mean, I could obviously open it up to other people, but I don't really want to connect to the internet and have all the stamps and everything showing up. Oh good, Snorlax avoided the attack. That helps a little. There we go. That's some decent damage. The problem is that's also going to throw up shields. And Steelix has the most shields out of any 3-star raid you can encounter. And the fact that it is continuing to curse is not helping us in any way. I missed. Lovely. Okay, I basically need all three of them to hit and take out all of its shields. Thank you. Okay, that will severely lower its defense, which helps. The problem is it's probably just going to curse again next turn. Yeah, there's the curse. So, while it's slow as crap, its attack and defense are ridiculous. And it only has to kill 2 Pokemon to kick us out of the den. Wow. Back-to-back misses on high horsepower. Rip throw. And that boosted his defense again, which means his defense is basically back to where it was before we broke his shields. And if he kills one more Pokemon, we get kicked out. Oh, and Snorlax is still getting hit by the Sandstorm and probably going to die in 2 turns. What we really need is a massive crit. Or special attacks. I mean, if we could hit with special moves, it would be way more effective. But wow, I barely survived that. So, at this point, we really need everybody to hit and do solid damage, and probably get a crit somewhere. And that's going to end it. Yep. Yep, that is the 4th KO, and that's gonna kick us out of the den. Okay, so our best bet in this scenario is actually taking Razor into this and setting up a massive power trip attack. So I'm not going to be Dynamaxing at all in this raid. I am essentially going to try to one-shot this thing with a massive amount of Hone Claw's power trip. I'm essentially going to Hone Claws like 5 or 6 times, as many as I possibly can get away with, and then power trip. The fact that Steelix apparently knows a lightning move is a problem, though. Why does this Steelix know a lightning move, of all things? So far, we've now got 2 Hone Claws set up. I'd really like to get all 6 set up, and then Power Trip with a total of 12 boosted stats. The problem is, I don't know if that permanently negates it or just temporarily negates it. I really hope that thing's using Life Dew. Oh, good. Granted, luckily we can check. Yeah, it completely negated them. So, at this point, we're basically back to 0. So now we have 1 Hone Clause set up. And I really wish that it used Life Dew, because it's going to die to the Sandstorm. Yep. Oh, excuse me. So that's 2 KOs. And that's 4 stat boosts we have right now that may or may not get negated by Steelix. Now, well, I'd like to go for more Hone Claws. My concern is, 1, this is turn 5. We are now halfway through the fight. And there's a good chance that he's going to blow my stat boosts away. So, my best bet at this point is to Power Trip. Yep, and there goes the stat changes I'd put in place. And there goes Throw. So that is 3 kills. And again, this has not been a super great grouping for literally anything. I mean, it literally at this point has to take out 1 more Pokemon and we lose, or, you know, go 4 more turns and we still lose. Granted, I know this isn't going to be very effective, but I was more hoping for the added boost to my attack. Togepi somehow survived that. Focus Sash. Okay. Okay, so at this point we're basically screwed. We're not winning because just no one was doing any damage. And the Steelix didn't allow me to get the Hone Claws stacked up the way I needed to. This is also a great example of when Bulldoze would be completely useless. Because I would take out my own team members. Okay, well, we got rid of the shield. Doesn't really help much, but we got rid of the shield. Because this is just gonna end the fight right here. So, we'll try again with Corviknight and see if Razor can do better if I just Dynamax to begin with and use Max Darkness. I don't know why I hit invite others there. Ready to battle, start battle, let's go. And just in case you're wondering, I do have a meat and cheese tray sitting here that I'm munching on for snacks. As well as both Mountain Dew Game Fuel and Powerade for drinks. Okay, I may actually open this one up just so I can beat the Steelix. Because to get more raid dens to spawn, I will have to clear all of mine, and I am not really being able to clear this Steelix by myself. And that is my last Dynamax turn. we've already in 3 turns lost 2 Pokemon. Oh, excuse me. The fact that the game keeps giving us fairy types versus a steel type Pokemon is just terrible, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it. I'm going to attempt to Hone Claw here, but I don't think it's really going to do any good. Yeah, Clefairy will survive with a Focus Sash. And basically, if it Rock Slides next turn, we're screwed. So, I'm just going to Power Trip with the 2 boosts because, yeah, we're basically screwed. And I'm not really going to be able to do a whole lot to it because we're barely going to get the shields down before it pretty much murders us. And actually Thunder Fanged. I was expecting Rock Slide. The problem is, again, it has to kill one of us, and that's it. And 2 of the Pokemon are weak against its moves. It's Thunder Fang, mine, and Quillfish. Quillfish is weak against its ground move, and Rock Slide can kill at least 2 of us. Luckily, he didn't get rid of my 2 boosts, so I've still got the 2 boosts for Power Trip. But unless Mudbray kills him, which, yeah, we're done. Oh, Quillfish hung on. Focus Sashes for the win. Okay, we might actually beat Steelix here. If Quillfish hits Brine, we can win. Or if the Mudbray hits high horsepower before Steelix gets a chance to move, we can win. There we go. Nice. Now, while I am trying to catch Steelix here, and it is a Steel type, I have no intention of using it on my party. Also, I don't actually expect to catch it. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Okay. But we did beat it, so that's good. That was the biggest thing we needed, was to beat Steelix. That should get it close. Yeah, one more. There we go. That puts it up at the same level as Kitty. Also lets it learn the move Strength instead of Stomp, which is a 15 increase in power. I am actually, however, going to go take a quick break, so I can use the bathroom and stuff. Also, we actually got 2 pieces of armorite ore from that, surprisingly. But, so, I will be right back, because I really do have to use the bathroom. Okay, and I am back. I do apologize about that. My stomach just decided it did not want to agree with me. Okay, now we're going to teach Stunfisk Earth Power as opposed to Mudshot. I'm still gonna keep Bulldoze. However, Mudshot, all it really does is lower speed, which, well, great. It doesn't have that great of power, and it does not have 100 accuracy. It's only got 95. Whereas Earth Power has 100 accuracy and higher power. So, and we can, of course, teach them Dig if we really want to. That being said, I need to get out of this sandstorm so I can find the other beams of light. Looks like we've got one over here in Giant's Mirror and one in the bowl over there. Heliolisk. This is actually going to be a better idea to take Stunfisk than Caparajah, simply because his ground type will actually benefit greatly from fighting the electric type. Okay. That is a terrible group of allies. We've got a Pikachu who's basically useless because he's electric primarily. We've got an Eevee which is just garbage. And we've got a rock fire type. So, yeah. Oh, that and the computer's an absolute moron with Soul Rock. There's that too. Bye, Soul Rock. on the bright side, even with just the two of us being alive, we can technically still take out the shields. The downside is if literally anything else dies, we get kicked out. So that's a problem. And again, the Solrock's an idiot. And that's RIP. And again, that was entirely because we had absolutely atrocious allies. And I'm not even going to bother switching to Stunfist this time. I'm just going to take Caparaja because it's got a ground move anyways. And we've still got the Pikachu, but we've got Wishy-Washy this time, which is helpful, and Demiguise, which is also semi-helpful. Simply because Wishy-Washy will do more damage than Eevee or Solrock. The downside is it's weak to the electric moves. Delmise is the same way in that it will do more damage than either Eevee or Solrock did. Again, the downside is it's not necessarily super strong against it. The amazing thing here, and the reason I really went with Caparaja, is Caparaja the fact that being as I have him set to have the max level for Dynamax, he's up to Dynamax level 10, makes all of his stats increase that much more when Dynamaxed. So that's helpful. The problem is we're gonna get murdered because he's just healing himself with Parabolic Change. I mean, the Heliolisk is literally just spamming Parabolic Change, which is basically full healing it because of all the Pokemon it's hitting. So, realistically, I need Caporaja to break the 2 shields and then get another Max Quake off next turn to actually kill this. Without having both me and Dhelmise dying. With it using Parabolic Change and it being faster than us, there is basically 0 chance of that happening. Yep, that's Rip Caporaja, and that's Rip Fight. Because no matter what it does to Dhelmise, it's going to kill it. Yep. And its Parabolic Charge will heal it again. So, literally, the entire reason we lost that fight was because it spammed Parabolic Charge. And because none of the Pokemon that it's giving us are strong against it. Rather than getting like Mudbray or anything like that, it is giving us the worst Pokemon it possibly could. Okay, this time we've got a Weavile, a Salazzle, and I didn't see what the third one was. Throw. Okay, nothing super amazing, but at least nothing that's super weak to electric or completely indifferent like Pikachu was the first 2 times, where it couldn't really do damage because all of its shit was not very effective. This time we've at least got damage dealers with us. We also have Weavile, which is a very fast Pokemon. And the problem that it spams Max Lightning first turn is a problem. Because that throws the electric current on the field. We should realistically be able to kick this to shield first turn, though. Because that should basically put it at shields. And throw still has to go. So, realistically, all I need to do is have Caporaja go. The problem is it's going to use Parabolic Charge here. And then get a crap ton of its health back from all the damage it just did to everybody. I mean, like, it just gained almost a third of its health back. And we can't do that much damage to it because, boom, 2 dead Pokemon, and it's basically back at 75% health. And we now have 2 Pokemon left in the fight, and if it kills both of us, we once again lose. And we're both super weak because it's spamming a damage all move. And my Max Quake won't do nearly as much because the shields are up. Now, if one of us could survive and hit it, that'd be great. But Throw's gonna die here, I will die next turn, and we will get kicked out. This is why Heliolisk is a completely stupid max rate fight. Is because Parabolic Charge basically makes it so you have no way to win because it will just sit there and out-heal itself. And we're dead. And that's the fight. Because it basically gets to hit 4 Pokemon with a... Okay. Why did it suddenly start dropping, like, all of the frames? Okay, what is going on with you? Why are you suddenly being trash, internet?